well too.
we
That I have postcard now.
read about the lobes. 5 lobes are there: frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, temporal lobe, and limbic lobe. And we told about their functions. Can you remember that? Talk to me. Response. Can you remember this? Hello.
Yes.
Then I talked about this one. I know. Okay. So, as we can always remember that the pyramidal tract, main pyramidal tract crosses through the medullary pyramid, and pyramidal tract is for very precise motor functions. Extra pyramidal tracts are for gross motor functions, and they are coming through the ventral side of the, this is by the lateral side, this is the ventral side of the spinal cord. This is for gross movement. This one tectospinal, rubrospinal, reticulospinal, vestibulospinal, therefore all for gross movement, and pyramidal tract is for fine movement. Another thing is that in the motor system comprises of motor cortex, then the motor tracts, then the spinal nerves which are innervating the muscles, and glands. Mainly muscles we are concerned because we can move it. So if you are supposed to check the motor system, then you have to see whether the muscle tone is all right or not. That means if the motor cortex and the motor tracts are all right, and motor nerves gives the enough neurotransmitter, then the muscle will remain in a partially contracted position, and that is called tone. So when you are supposed to check the tone, say for biceps muscle, can you see me? Can you see my biceps muscle? Can you see my biceps muscle? Can you see my biceps? I am showing here. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you feel it, then you will get it is not so flaccid. And that is called the tone. If you do like this by yourself, then and the tone is changed, that is the active tone. And if you do, if somebody does your hand like this and you feel, that is called passive tone, right? So when you check the biceps in semi-pronated position, you have to keep your hand on the hand of the subject, and if you do like this, then it is biceps. If you do like this, it will be triceps. Tone. Okay. If you want to see that the strength is there or not, so whether you can, the motor muscle is motor and the motor system is strong enough, then you have to check whether the power or strength of the muscle, whether you can push it, whether you can stand and that is different types of strength you can measure. And then whether the person can stand and properly walk, that is called gait of the muscle, G-A-I-T, gait of the muscle, right? So gait, this is also one has to check the motor system in that way. If the gait is normal gait, if the cerebellum is cut, then the gait will be drunken gait. If there is Parkinsonism, there will be resting tremor and soft shuffling gait. Then like that, many things are there. When you will do the practical, again you will get all the things. There is no difference between the practical and the theory, so you have to learn as a whole. And now, suppose the person can, gross movement of the person is all right, that means the tectospinal, reticulospinal, vestibulospinal, rubrospinal, all tracts are all right. The person can do fine movement, that means the corticospinal tract is all right. So if there is stroke, cerebral stroke, you know that the muscle become flaccid. For some time after that, there will be some problem. So if there is problem in the pyramidal tract, that means lesion in the pyramidal tract, there will be some problem in fine movement. And as only pyramidal tract is not affected, the extrapyramidal tract is also affected in the cerebral stroke. At that time, there will be some problems. There will be some problems here in the extrapyramidal system. Okay, please. Area, this red one, so this is for control, only for control, biggest area control. This one, this blue one is for planning of motor planning, right? And this yellow one is for execution only. So execution of motor function, motor cortex involved is very small, you see. Planning of motor, bigger, and control is the biggest. Am I clear now? Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Now told here the motor homunculus is there, here sensory homunculus is there. Homunculus means map, and map is not the photocopy of our body image. It is a caricature or a cartoon picture of our body. You see, the face is like this. This is the trachea and voice making portions. That is also motor. This is hand. This is the trunk. This is the leg and foot. So it is cartoon picture of the body upside down, right? In case of motor also, in case of sensory also. Say for example, if you stimulate this portion of the brain, then the fingers of the foot will be moved. If you stimulate this portion of the motor portion of the brain, then this finger will move, otherwise it will not move, right? Likewise, the sensory homunculus is also there here. That is also upside down. That is also a caricature. Up to this, is it clear? If it is not clear, tell me then and there. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
If it is not clear to anybody else, please tell me then and there. Otherwise, there will be problem. So primary motor area is biggest, red one. Supplementary, we have seen it in yellow color, right? And premotor area in blue color. Premotor area, plan movements. Supplementary motor area, execution of movement. And red one, the primary motor cortex, is for control. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Should I proceed? Should I proceed?
Yes,
Should I
sir.
proceed? So about motor tracts, again I have told this is pyramidal tract. These are the extrapyramidal tracts. This pyramidal tract is for skillful movement, extrapyramidal tract for gross movement. Right? Up to this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now coming to sensory cortex. Sensory cortex has primary sensory cortex 1 and 3 for touch sensation, 2 and 3 for proprioception. Here also the same thing. The sensory cortex also has the sensory homunculus upside down, which is a cartoon picture exactly like this, right? So in case of sensory, if you sensory cortex is stimulated here, then the feeling will be somebody is touching the finger. If the sensory cortex is stimulated here, then the sensation will be somebody is touching the chin, right? Am I clear? This is the sensory cortex. Up to this clear?
Yes, sir.
So, as I already told in the previous class, I am repeating so that you can remember. Now, for sensory cortex still shaking, what you have to do, you tell the person to close his or her eyes and then touch. Say for example, touch in the index finger, right? Index finger. Whether the person can tell where you have touched it. Whether the person is getting the touch sensation and telling where you have touched it. If the person can do that, if the person can tell, yes, you have touched my index finger, this portion, then the tactile localization, where it has been touched, and the touch sensation, both are present. Touch sensation is present, he told that yes, you have touched, and tactile localization, where you have touched, you have present. That means the sensation is alright. Sensation means the cortical perception is alright. So touch sensation and tactile localization means the sensory cortex is alright. The sensory cortex is alright. That is the test for sensory cortex. What does it mean? If you can perceive the touch in your finger, index finger for example, or some portion of your body, for example. For example, you can tell in the thumb somebody has touched and you Without seeing it, you can tell it. That means these receptors in the finger is alright. Receptor is alright. Sensory tract is alright. And the sensory cortex is alright. What I have told? Receptor is alright. Sensory receptor alright. Then the sensory tract, sensory nerves and tracts are all right, and the sensory cortex is all right. That is why when we do practical of the sensation, we do like that. And then 2 points are touched. Then whether the 2 points has been touched or 1 point has been touched, the person can perceive. That means the sensation and the sensory cortex is all right. In that way, we taste the sensation. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Then another thing is that proprioception. Proprioception means joint sense and the position sense. Joint sense, muscle sense, position sense. What I have told? Joint sense, muscle sense, and position sense. So if you want to check the joint sense, can you see my finger? Can you see my finger?
Yes, sir.
So if you do like this and if you like this, then you ask the person who is closing his eyes, it is up or down. So if he can tell up, only up, then down, down. This side, that side, he can tell like this. Am I clear how going? Can you see it? And in that way, we check whether the joint sense is all right or not. This is the function of joint sense. Okay. Another told in the previous class I have told that one hand is like this, without seeing another hand the person can do like this, and that is called the position sense. Position of the muscle and the joints in the space, they can do it, right? Am I clear how to test proprioception?
Yes, sir.
If it is not clear, anybody, if it is not clear, please tell me. Is it clear to all of us, all of you? Is it clear to
Yes,
all
sir.
of you?
Yes, sir.
Some male voice is there. I want to show. I want to listen it. Some male voice is there.
Yes, sir.
Is it
It's clear.
okay? Then the primary sensory cortex is in the postcentral gyrus of the parietal lobe. Secondary sensory cortex in the lateral feature of the sylvian feature of the lobe. Position sense, phantom limb, these are already being taught, I think. Is there any confusion? Should I repeat or should I proceed? Tell me. Or should I proceed? Anybody out of, I'm talking to all the students. If anybody has confusion, don't be shy. Bad.
You can proceed, sir.
Or is it clear to you all, or should I proceed? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Should I proceed or should I clear it again?
We can proceed, sir.
Okay. Now there are different touch receptors, right? Slowly adapting receptor, and some receptors are rapidly adapting receptors. Merkel's disc is slowly adapting, and Raffin is slowly adapting. Meissner's corpuscle and Pacinian corpuscle, they are rapidly adapting. Light is noxious stimulus, harmful stimulus which causes pain is there. They are also slowly adapting. That is why we cannot ignore pain. Am I clear? So Merkel's disc is slowly adapting. Ma, M-A-R-K-E-L, Merkel, ma, आमालाई झट्ट सक्दैन हामी हैन हामी जे सोचिरहेको छु त्यो भुल कि ठीक पहिला आमाले चेक गरेर त्यसपछि मान्नुहुन्छ हैन मनाउनु सक्दैन सो आमा slowly adapting आमा ma Merkel's disc slowly adapting Raffini and Durkin Raff slowly adapting. How to remember I am telling, right? Me, Meissner's corpuscle, I am rapidly adapting, isn't it? मलाई के भने भने म मान्छु Pacinian corpuscle, पापा हुन्छ हैन कोशिश गर्ने कि भनेर सोचिरहेको छु हैन you have to remember. So Raffinian organs are slowly adapting receptors. Merkel disc for the sustained pressure, touch, texture and shape. Raffinian organ, sustained pressure and movement of skin, right? Meissner corpuscle, they feel the texture and slow vibration. Pacinian corpuscle, deep pressure and fast vibration, rapidly adapting. First think, then I will go to other side. Why we have to do all those things? We have to know all those things. Think. Suppose there is a power cut and you are searching for matchbox. So in the dark you are not seeing anything. You can check it is pencil, it is not matchbox. So without seeing, by touching, you can get the shape of the thing, the texture of the thing, whether it is made up of glass or wood or silk or cotton, you can get. So by touching, this pressure, texture, shape, vibration, all those things are needed, and that is called, without seeing you can perceive all those things of a thing. So that is called stereognosis. That is called stereognosis. So here there is another test for the sensory system. You have to tell the person to close his or her eyes and then give something which will not harm him or her in his or her palm, and without seeing, only by touching, the person will tell, okay, this is pencil, this is rubber, this is coin, like that we can tell, isn't it? This is matchbox. And that is called stereognosis. If stereognosis sensation is alright, that means all these Merkel stage, Meissner's corpuscle, Rapinian organ, Pacinian corpuscle, all are alright, correct, right? And the sensory nerves are alright, and the sensory cortex is alright. That is the proof, right? In that way, by checking the stereognosis, we can check the sensory system. So touch sensation, tactile localization, stereognosis, that are done to check the sensory system. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Acha, you see here, this is Meissner's corpuscle for slow vibration, right? Why slow vibration? Another is for fast vibration. Which one is fast vibration? Pacinian corpuscle. Fast vibration. Here, slow vibration. See, Pacinian corpuscle is for fast vibration. Then when you are in some vehicle, the first there is when they start it, then there is a vibration, and we feel vibration in our buttock, isn't it? When we are sitting in the, say for example, microbus, right? Fast vibration. So that is rapidly adapting. Otherwise, we cannot travel for longer distance. We will be irritated. So it rapidly adapting Pacinian corpuscle. Meissner corpuscle, this is for texture or slow vibration. So when you go to check the quality of a cloth, you want to see some luga kinna goy na, you want to buy some clothes. So whether it is made up of khaddar, rough cotton, or smooth cotton, or silk or something, so you have to do like this, isn't it? Can you see my hand? Can you see my fingers like this? So there is a slow vibration because some cloths are fine, some are coarse. So there is slow vibration. By that we can check the quality of the texture of the cloth. So that is function of Meissner's corpuscle. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Merkel's disc and for the shape. Merkel's disc for the shape. So when in the dark you touch and stereognose the thing, whether it is a matchbox or not, the shape is concerned. So Merkel's disc is all right at that time. You can, if Merkel's disc is all right at that time, you can get the whether it is matchbox or pencil or nothing or other thing. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Am I clear why we have to write, where you have to remember the Merkel disc, Meissner's corpuscle, Rapinian organ, Pacinian corpuscle? To all of you, I am asking to all of you, all 150 students, if there is any problem, please tell.
Yes, sir.
Then should I proceed? Or should I repeat?
Yes, sir.
Which one is yes, sir? Proceed or
Proceed,
repeat?
sir.
Okay. Now here in a good, any good anatomy book or physiologic book, you will get where is the Meissner's corpuscle, where is the Merkel's disc, etc. Right? So I am going to another. Now comes to lemniscal system sensory pathway, lemniscal system and anterolateral system, right? Sensory pathway. Now lemnisci is a lemnisci means ribbon or band. This lemnisci word is a Latin word. Lemnisci is a Latin word which means ribbon or band. So many band of nerve fibers are going, and that is why it is called lemniscus or lemnisci. And this is for fine touch, proprioception, vibration sense. Fine touch. Fine touch. Do you know what is fine touch? Any idea? If I very slightly touch you, will it be fine touch? In a very soft, if I touch you very softly, will it be fine touch? What is your opinion?
No.
No, it is crude touch. Then what is fine touch?
Fine touch is well localized, just like pen pricking.
No, that is pain. PAIN, pain, that gives stimulate the nociceptors, and it is harmful to the tissue. It is not fine touch. Do you have any idea about fine touch? If I touch with a feather to your hairy portion, only hair will move. At that time, that is fine touch. Otherwise, if you very softly I touch you, then it is called crude touch. You can tell it light touch also. Light touch is crude touch. Heavy touch is also crude touch. And if heavy touch is heavier, then it is pressure. And then if pressure is too much, that it gives some tissue damaging effect. Tissue damaging effect, that is called pain. Am I clear? So what is fine touch? Fine touch means by cotton whips, you have to touch the hairy part of the person and ask him without seeing it whether he can perceive it or she can perceive it or not, right? That is called fine touch. Here we in the sensory system examination we do fine touch examination, right? Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Then if you take a cotton wisp and touch the hairy part of his hand, and it, without seeing, the person can perceive it and can tell, yes, I got it, you touched me, and can show from where the touch sensation he has felt, then his fine touch carrying sensory part is all right, his sensory cortex is all right, and the sensation receptors are also all right, right? And the same is correct for the proprioception, that means muscle sense and joint sense, and for vibratory sense, right? Vibration means what? Vibration means all the pressure. Once pressure is more and then pressure is less, again pressure is more, again pressure is less. If this condition goes on, then it is called vibration, and it goes through the dorsal column and ends in the nucleus gracilis and nucleus unitus. Both nucleus are in medulla. What is nucleus? Nucleus means the collection of cell bodies within the central nervous system. If there is collection of cell bodies within the central nervous system, that is called nucleus. If the collection of cell bodies are outside the central nervous system, it is called ganglion. Outside the central nervous system, collection of cell bodies is ganglion. Inside the central nervous system, collection of cell bodies is nucleus. This nucleus gracilis and cuneatus both are in medulla oblongata. Nucleus gracilis looks like the blade of a grass. That is why it is called nucleus gracilis or gracili nucleus. And nucleus cuneatus looks like a cuneate, a three-dimensional figure, cuneate, that is triangular three-dimensional figure, that is called cuneate, and the nucleus looks like that, so it is called nucleus cuneatus. Then it crosses the tract, second order neuron cross the midline. From here, from the receptor, the nerve that goes, that is the first order neuron. Then the first order neuron ends and the second order neuron starts. Always remember, second order neuron always cross the midline and ascend the medial lemniscus. Then it goes to the ventral posterior nucleus of thalamus, VPL, ventral posterolateral nucleus, and then to somatosensory cortex, and we get either fine touch or proprioception or vibratory sense. Fibers from the sacral cord are positioned most medially, and those from the cervical cord are positioned most laterally. Why it is so? Because why you have to remember this? Suppose the portion which is supplied by the sacral spinal nerves, from there the sensation is not going. From other portion of the body it is going. That means khutta bato jagayeko chaina sensation. Then you have to see whether the tumor is in the sacral position, and medial nerves are affected, and laterally as affected means cervical cord is affected. That is why. Up to this lemniscal system, is it clear? If it is not clear, tell me. I will show the figure and then again tell. Should I show the figure first? Should I show the figure first?
Yes,
Can you
sir.
hear me? Figure दिखाई रहा है. So yes, here red, red. You follow this, right? So you see fine touch, vibration, pressure, proprioception, and right side of the body it goes. So this portion, okay. So this is the first order neuron. This one is the dorsal root ganglion. Then it enters into the spinal cord. Which portion of the spinal cord? Dorsal portion, because this one is ventral portion, this one is lateral portion, this one is dorsal portion or posterior portion. So from here it is going to posterior portion and it is going up. So first order neuron has been shown in red. So it carries the impulse from here, the impulse goes, then enters here and ends. Am I clear? Then the second order neuron, which is shown in the white line, the second order neuron cross from right, it goes to left side and then goes up. This is the midbrain, and it goes ends in thalamus. This nucleus is called VPL, ventral posterolateral nucleus, ventral posterolateral nucleus of thalamus. This is the second order neuron ends here. From here, third order neurons comes and goes to the whole sensory cortex, right? This is the third order neuron. So first order neuron does not cross, third order neuron does not cross, but second order neuron crosses. Am I clear? Now this one is spinal cord, this one is middle of oblongata. This right? This nucleus is called nucleus gracilis or nucleus cuneatus. If the sensation comes from the lower portion of the body, from the leg, foot portion of the body, it will end in nucleus gracilis. खुट्टा कहाँ हुन्छ? ग्रासमा हुन्छ. न्यूक्लियस ग्रासिलिस खुट्टाको जति जे छ. अब अपर पोर्सन अफ द बडी, ह्यान्ड, ट्रङ्क, त्यहाँबाट जुन सेन्सेसनहरू आउँछ, that will enter and end here in the nucleus cuneatus. Am I clear? Nucleus cuneatus. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
So again I am going to previous one. Now what we have told here in the lemniscal system and showed here in the figure, is it clear to you all? Check. Check and then tell. Good touch. Anterior spinothalamic. Temperature pain is carried by lateral spinothalamic and specific nucleus of the thalamus or mesenteric ganglion. The midline, interluminal, non-specific projection nuclei, and then to cortex. This is the pathway. So, should I show you the picture?
Yes, sir.
See, you better follow the red one, red line, red. The sensation enters from here. This is the dorsal root ganglia, ends here. So here ends the first order neuron. Where? In the dorsal root ganglion. This one is the substantia gelatinosa of Rolando, because this substance is gelatinous, and the person, the scientist who first discovered it, his name was Rolando. So this is called substantia gelatinosa of Rolando. This is the dorsal portion. So first order neuron ends here. Second order neuron always cross. So here it crosses in the spinal cord. Previously what I told, what I showed, it crossed into the medulla, right? Nucleus cuneatus, nucleus gracilis, all in medulla. From here it crosses. In case of touch pain temperature, crude touch pain temperature, first order neuron ends here, same side. Second order neuron crosses, goes to the contralateral side. Same side means ipsi lateral side. Ipsi lateral side means same side. Contralateral side means opposite side. It goes, and here it enters into the lateral spinothalamic tract. Because it is lateral, it goes from the spinal cord and ends into the thalamus. So lateral spinothalamic tract. It may go in that way, it may go in this way also. From here it comes here, from here it will go. And that is called anterolateral system. This is the anterior part, this is the posterior part, this is the lateral. From here if it goes anterolateral or anterior tract, If this tract goes to the lateral portion, that is lateral. So second order neuron cross and goes up to the thalamus, opposite side of the thalamus, thalamus of opposite side. It is ventral posterolateral nucleus of thalamus. Am I clear? Okay. Am I clear or not? You tell me.
Yes, sir.
And then from here third order neuron goes. So this one, you see, this one is the pain pathway or the crude touch pathway, right? Again I am going to the one. So crude touch, temperature, pain, temperature, crude touch or pressure, whatever it's called, it goes to the DRG, dorsal root ganglion, right? What is DRG? This one is DRG. First order neuron stops here. Second order neuron, lateral path, right? Lateral spinothalamic. So when there is thalamic last, that means it is a sensory path. When there is corticospinal, that is motor tract. Am I clear? From here it goes up thalamus, from thalamus third order neuron. Again I am telling. DRG means dorsal root ganglion, cross the midline, go up to the anterolateral system. Anterolateral system is for crude touch, right? Anterior spinothalamic is for temperature and pain carrying. Anterior spinothalamic, this one, crude touch, anterior spinothalamic. Temperature and pain is carried by lateral spinothalamic tract. Temperature and pain is carried by lateral spinothalamic tract. Am I clear? It is asked. Question is asked. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Question is asked, which tract carry the temperature and pain? The answer will be lateral spinothalamic tract. Question is asked, which tract carries the crude touch? Answer will be anterior spinothalamic tract. Question is asked, which tract carries proprioception, muscle sense, joint sense? The answer will be, expected answer will be dorsal column tract. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Now it goes to the thalamus, from thalamus cortex. I have already shown it, right? May I go to the next slide?
Yes, sir.
Now there are different types of nerves because neurons and nerves are different. Neurons means that there will be dendrite, there will be cell body, there will be action, right? But some neurons and surrounded by the non-neural tissues is called nerve. Endoneurium, perineurium, epineurium is covered and the whole thing is called nerve. And to give nutrition and gaseous exchange in that tissue, there will be some blood vessels. All means nerves. All makes nerve. Neuron does not means nerve. Neuron is a part of nerve. Am I clear? So we are talking about nerves. So perineurium, epineurium, endoneurium, all are there in the nerve, as you have already read in anatomy. So the nerves may be thin, maybe very thin, or maybe thick nerve. So if see A delta nerves is thick nerve, the diameter is 12 to 20 micrometer, and speed of impulse, if this right, speed of impulse is, say for example, 70 or 60, 70 to 120, so remember 60. A beta nerve, they are thinner nerves, half, italic half, 6 micrometer, speed is also half, 30, you think 60, and here it is 30 meter per second, right? Then the A delta nerve, that is also thinnest nerve, thin, myelinated but very thin, and myelinated but very thin, you see here it is 2 to 5 micrometer in diameter, and speed of impulse is half of this, 30 ko half kati, 15, so here 12 to 30 meter per second. It carries pain. Which pain? Fast pain, localized pain, right? B, diameter is less than 3 meter, speed is lesser than that. You see here it is, if it is 15, it is 3 to 15 meter per second, and they are preganglionic nerve, they are autonomic nerves, right? And C fiber, this is for carrying the bad pain or slow pain, which is tremendous pain but unlocalized pain. The person will tell that it is paining, but they cannot show the exact point from where the pain is going, and that is called C fiber. It has no myelination, no myelin sheath. It is non-myelinated fiber, and you see its speed of impulse is 0.5 meter per second. 0.5 meter per second. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
So this is very, very important for you. May I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Now this figure, I think you have already saw it many times in your school days. Here we are showing the knee jerk or reflex jerk. Okay? Now if we tap here, this one is called femur. This is the bone, femur, right? So this muscle is called quadriceps femoris. Quadriceps femoris, and tendon is attached here. Tendon. So if you tap the tendon, these muscle spindles all are parallelly arranged with this. So all the muscle spindles will be, here only one muscle spindle has been shown. There are numerous number of muscle spindles. So these will be stimulated. So when this is stimulated, muscle spindle is a receptor. So that receptor will be stimulated, and the impulse will be carried by the sensory neuron, and this is the action, a dendron. This one is the dendron. This one is the cell body. This is the action. So it is a bipolar nerve, right? Because there are two poles, here, another here. So the projection of the nerve that carries impulse from the cell body, out of the cell body, away from the cell body, that is action. And the impulse is carried towards the cell body is dendron. Yes? Yes or no? Can you remember? Should I repeat?
Yes, sir.
Here it is a bipolar neuron because there are two poles, here one, here another. Now the impulse is carried by a projection towards the cell body, that is called dendron. Yes, and if the impulse is carried away from the cell body, that is called action. Yes, yes or no? Dendron or dendrites carry impulse to the cell body, and action carry impulse away from the cell body. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So when the muscle spindle, the receptor is stimulated, then the impulse is carried towards the cell body by this portion is dendron, and then the impulse is carried from the cell body towards the central nervous system, that is action. Here it ends, that is the one. This one is the sensory neuron. Then from second order neuron, another neuron, that is the, not second order, I am sorry. This is the alpha motor neuron. This is motor neuron. This one is the sensory neuron. This one is the motor neuron. Alpha motor neuron, which is the thickest one, that will carry motor impulse to the quadriceps femoris muscle. So quadriceps femoris will contract, and that is called the reflex arc. Reflex arc has receptor components are receptor, sensory nerve, center, motor nerve, and effector organ. Five components are there: receptor, sensory nerve, center, then motor nerve, then effector organ. So effector organ is quadriceps femoris, it is contracting. If the quadriceps femoris contract, then the opposite muscle must relax. The opposite muscle is hamstring muscle. Am I clear? Hamstring muscle. Please try to remember hamstring muscle. Here, when the sensation is coming, here one branch is there, that is called collateral. This collateral or branch is connecting the inhibitory interneurons shown in blue color, a grayish blue color, and then from here another motor neuron, that is this one is the inhibitory motor neuron. That means this motor neuron neurotransmitter is GABA, gamma aminobutyric acid or glycine. So this motor neuron is giving this motor neuron to inhibit. So the inhibitory impulse is carried, and hamstring, which is the flexor muscle, is relaxing. So this muscle is contracting, this muscle is relaxing. So there will be knee jerk. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Is there any confusion? Should you tell? If there is any confusion, please tell. So more the more the nerve will be thicker, right? And that is called your Schwann cell. Now astrocyte produces Schwann cell when they are attached, last attachment here, and that glue is called a protein, that is called protein 0 or P0. It is attached here like this. Alright. So now astrocyte produce substance tropic to neurons, take up potassium, glutamate and GABA. That means astrocytes that makes the blood-brain barrier also, they give some nutrition to the neurons. So that is called substances tropic to neurons. And potassium ion and glutamate and GABA, those things, if they are present, they are excitotoxic. That is why they will excite the other nerves. So after the work of them, that must be engulfed again, all right, and that the substances are engulfed by the astrocytes. Am I clear up to this? Up to this side it is clear. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let us come to this portion. You see here, as I told, this is the this one is the nerve. Say for example, this is the action, and this is the myelination sheath. So you see how many times it's wrapped, and here it is attached by P0 protein. So one is here, another is here, wrapping Schwann cell. So in between there is a gap, and that is called node of Ranvier. That is called node of Ranvier. That is unmyelinated. From here the sodium ion enters, potassium ion exits. So the impulse goes from here, jump to here, then impulse jump to here. In that way there will be conduction and nerve impulse conduction, and that is called saltatory conduction, right? Action potential jump from node to node, that is called saltatory conduction of nerve impulse. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
So you know this is the dendron or dendrite, this is the action, this is the action hillock, this is the nucleus, nucleolus. Dendrites carry the impulse towards the cell body, the action carries the cell impulse away from the cell body. Then when the impulse comes here, the nerve terminals are here, neurotransmitters are stored here, the neurotransmitter comes out. These are the cell nodes of Ranvier. This one is this one cell. Those things you know, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Should I proceed or should I stop? What you will feel, you tell me.
Let's stop today, sir.